I do several things that helps ease the frustration and will continue to do this long after anxiety. For me, reading everything I could about anxiety was a way for me to help learn and relate to those that suffer from it, and knowing and learning what my body was going through, and what I needed to do. I started focusing on self care. I began meditation, and meditation for me was something I've never done before, and I always thought meditation was just sitting down with and having a blank mind for 10 minutes or whatever it is. But in reality, meditation is sitting down and just focusing on your breath. When thoughts come in, notice them and get back to your breath. So for me, it's just kind of um, focusing on me and being in the present moment. And when thoughts do arise, I do notice them and I'm mindful of them, but I get back to my breath because that's the breath is just what we're focusing on. So that kind of helped me learn how to meditate. I'm not great at it, but the better and more consistent you are with it, the better you will be. There's days where meditation is just my mind is racing, where I can't focus on the breath, but I try not to judge myself for it, and will try again later. Maybe at that time it just wasn't the right time for me. I also do yin and restorative yoga. I've always been, I always worked out and I did weights and cardio. So yin wasn't, I've never tried it before, but now that's my exercise. And I do yin and restorative. It's more relaxing, holding poses, stretching, and focusing on the present moment and right here, right now. So those are the two kind of um, yoga I practice, and it's relaxing. It's peaceful, and I love it. Also, I do deep breathing. I take warm baths, and sometimes I put some relaxed music and set the candles up and just try to relax. It's really hard to not have your mind racing when you're by yourself and trying to relax. But I sometimes, just to help myself stay in the present moment, I think about the water and the bubbles and the breath that helps me be present. Um, I sometimes do acupuncture and massages. I used to do acupuncture probably weekly, but I stopped doing that because I don't really understand what acupuncture is, but it's just kind of um, relaxing for me. But it just kind of got too expensive, so I just thought, oh, I can probably just relax at home. So I just kind of stopped doing it. But every now and then, I'll give it a try. But you just have to find your self care, what works for you. I also started seeing a psychologist, and this was the number one thing I did. She helps me bring light to my behaviors and what I believe that's causing the anxiety. We work on identifying um, behaviors and communicating directly instead of passively. Stay in the present moment. We meditate in the room, and she just helps me to be patient and ride these waves that is very powerful. My therapist describes my passive behavior as boiling hot water being covered with the lid, um, and it's ready to explode. This, to me, made complete sense. I've always been a passive person, and you can push, 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 and I will be there and take, take, take. Um, and now, boom, I have a disorder. That's what we believe um, is the root cause of the anxiety. But I'm learning to become more open and more sharing my thoughts and feelings. Um, I read a book from Bree Brianne, or I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right, Brianne Brown, about vulnerability and living a wholehearted life. And there was this, she said a quote that really stuck out to me, and it was that the body keeps score and it always wins, which, yes, it won. I also try to change my thought pattern and remove what ifs and should from my vocabulary and my thought process. Um, and I also started doing the same positive affirmations um, to remind myself that when the lows do hit, that there are highs after this. This is just temporary, that it will get better again. I was there and this should pass. And lastly, I surround myself with people who I enjoy and laugh with. The last thing you want to do is be around the negative and non-supportive people. Recovery has been my biggest challenge, but I will continue to ride these waves. Taking the time for me time and is needed during this recovery, and it leads to a well-being in the long term.